No one expected that the day of filming, which was initially full of laughter and positive energy from the members, would turn into one of the most emotional moments that left a big question mark around the world. When the cameras stopped recording and the studio lights slowly went out, everyone thought the day's story was over. But it was precisely after the end of filming, when the world thought that everything was returning to normal, that the most important moment occurred. The one that became the answer to Jungkook's previous words. Words that shook the internet, one simple sentence, but too deep to be called just a joke. Without you, everything is not fun. And tonight, the world finally saw how Taehyung answered it. According to a production staff witness, after the director officially announced filming was over, the members began to take a break and left the set one by one. But not with Jungkook. Jungkook remained in his seat, leaning back as if still thinking about something unfinished. The staff's eyes recorded everything. Jungkook stared at Taehyung, who was talking to one of the crew, but his expression wasn't like someone was joking. It wasn't like someone had just made a light joke. There was something on his face, something too honest, something that seemed to wish Taehyung understood the true meaning of his words. Taehyung noticed the look. Instead of running away, he approached, with a slow pace and an expression that was hard to guess. Calm, confident, but with a depth that only people who had known him for a long time could recognize. Taehyung sat down next to Jungkook. No cameras, no audience, no dialogue to memorize. All that remains are two men, two best friends, two human beings who have passed more than a decade together, without the need to pretend. Sources close to the couple said their conversation began without a loud noise, without laughter, without dramatization. Taehyung only asked one sentence that made the listening staff want to cry. "You were serious when you said that, right?" No jokes, no defensiveness, no hiding anything. The words sounded slow, but full of honesty. Everyone knew he was referring to Jungkook's words, "Without you, everything is not fun." Jungkook did not immediately respond. He lowered his head, sighed, and according to witnesses, there was a tremor in his voice when he finally said, "I shouldn't have said that on camera." That sentence alone is enough to make the whole atmosphere change. No denial, no reason to joke anymore. He didn't say, "I'm just kidding." This time he chose to be honest with silence. And here's the most important moment, Taehyung's answer. It doesn't come from long words, it doesn't come from dramatic speeches. Taehyung just smiled a small, gentle, but meaningful smile, then patted Jungkook on the back softly, saying, "I know." Two simple words, but enough to break and unite the hearts of millions of people who watched through the footage leaked hours after the incident. Two words that proved that Taehyung understood what Jungkook meant even before Jungkook explained it. Witnesses said the two remained seated in the studio for nearly 20 minutes after everyone left. They did not shy away from each other. They talked while looking into the eyes, not the camera, not the monitor. Jungkook is seen repeatedly rubbing his nape, a habit he does when nervous, while Taehyung smiles a few times while shaking his right leg, a sign that he is trying to contain his emotions. Without the need to repeat the words sorry or joking, the two understand each other only by presence. But the most surprising part is not over yet. As they exit the studio towards the parking area, a crew member says that Taehyung did something that is rarely seen in public. Just as they were walking towards the car, Taehyung put his hand on Jungkook's shoulder and looked at him gently, then said the sentence that made the witness unable to sleep last night. "As long as you are around, I am never alone." The world might think Jungkook was just joking, but Taehyung answered with an honesty that can't be hidden with a smile or a camera. And when Jungkook simply replied with a small smile without being able to say anything, the crew knew the moment wasn't for the public, but for both of them. That's why the internet exploded, not because of drama or rumors, but because the connection of the two felt too real, too human, too emotional to be called just regular best friends. Not about romance, not about fan service, not about scenarios. It's about two people who understand that some relationships cannot be explained, they can only be felt. Since that incident, ARMY has not stopped discussing how sincere Taehyung's reaction was after filming ended. Not for the camera, not for the content, but for Jungkook. And it is precisely because the two do not try to give clarifications. The world is increasingly convinced Their relationship is too deep to be explained in words. As the car door closes and the two leave together that night. It's not the filming that goes viral. It's the fact that Jungkook may be joking while talking on camera, but Taehyung answers with the truth when the camera is off. And that's the reason the world can't stop talking about them. Because there are jokes that sound like confessions, and there are answers that sound like home. And that night, Taehyung was the answer, but the story does not end in the studio parking lot. People thought everything was over when the car doors closed, but the silence on the way home became precisely the most important round of the evening. According to a source sitting in the front seat, the two barely spoke the entire way through. Not because it was awkward, but because the words felt too small to contain the emotion of what was going on. Slow music is heard in the background, but the two seem to be in a world of their own. Every now and then, Taehyung glances at Jungkook as if to make sure that the person next to him is okay, and Jungkook, who is still holding a cold water bottle, only pretends to focus on the night scene. Even though his eyes look teary, Taehyung finally opened his mouth. Not by asking, not by pressing, just by pure feeling. "You can say anything to me, anytime," he said quietly, almost in a whisper. That sentence made Jungkook close his eyes for a moment, like someone who had been harboring too much and finally found a place to breathe. He didn't answer for long, just said, "I know." But the way he said it, softly, honestly, without walls, made the whole atmosphere change completely. When the car stopped in front of the building, they did not immediately get off. The cabin lights came on, and the two stared at each other for a few seconds that felt like forever. No cameras, no scenarios, no sweet words for the world to hear. There are only two people who understand each other in a way that is almost frightening because it is so real. Taehyung then smiled a smile that only comes when he's really comfortable, and said, "I'm grateful that you exist." It's not dramatic, it's not exaggerated, but it's enough to make Jungkook laugh quietly with a trembling voice while rubbing his eyes, as if removing something he didn't want to be seen. Witnesses said before parting, Jungkook held Taehyung's arm and said slowly but very seriously, "Don't change." Taehyung didn't answer for long. He just nodded like someone who accepts a promise without having to say anything. They then walked into the building together, shoulders almost touching, slow steps without haste. As if the world didn't matter, as if only the two of them were there that night. And that's where everything became clear. Jungkook's on-camera jokes turn out to be more than just jokes. And Taehyung's off-camera answer isn't just a response. The night showed something that even the word close or best friend is not enough to define. There are relationships that do not need clarification, do not need a stage, and do not need proof. A relationship that only lies between two people who understand each other unconditionally. Maybe they never intended to make the world a scene. Perhaps for them, this is just an ordinary conversation. But for anyone who witnessed the moment, both live and through leaked snippets of footage, one thing became undeniable. Whatever was happening on camera was just entertainment. What happens after the camera is turned off is a reality. And that night, reality was much stronger than the show.